Hi, everyone, and welcome back. I'm with Mike Daly.
Hi, Tom.
The city manager.
I see you.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad I got that right.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So last Monday there was a CFD meeting, a special meeting by the Amateur Water Agency going to explain, I guess, the Community Facilities District.
That and the general rate increase that they're working on.
So I guess the outreach was to the city to get your input and to let you know what's happening. What did you get out of that meeting?
Well, the city has an outreach committee. It's Mayor Crew and Councilmember Sweet, and then on the water agency side, it's the directors Molinelli and Manacero.
Right.
And they published their rate study and financial analysis back in March, and we met after that came out to talk about issues that the city had with some of the information in that report. They went back, did a whole lot of reviewing the numbers, came out with a revised rate chart in mid-July, and then had a meeting in late July to consider approving those rates to go out with their Prop 218 notice. And we didn't really get a great opportunity to comment on that, and the rate that they came back with in July was actually about 4% higher for the city of Jackson than what was in March. So they looked at the numbers again, and then had a special meeting on Monday of this week to provide some new numbers and some more information to all of the system ratepayers about the COP system and the assessment district that they're proposing and how these rates are being allocated. They didn't come to a conclusion or vote on anything on Monday, but the numbers that they showed for Jackson were actually, again, they were lower than July and actually just about 1.5% less than what they were in March. So we had a meeting scheduled yesterday, and we met with the outreach committee to talk about how the rate methodology and what information was included and not included in calculating the city of Jackson's rate. We're a bit different than a customer in like Sutter Creek or Ione, because the water agency provides services directly to those residents. In Jackson, the city purchases treated water from the water agency, and then we run our own distribution system. So we're known as a wholesale customer, since we're the only one that pays the water agency directly, and then our residents pay the city of Jackson for the water that they consume in the city limits. The city's water rate from the water agency, the current projection is about a 9.6% increase. And that's about 40% of our water budget. So if you figure about what the revenue need would be to make up that 9% in that one category, it works out to about a 4 to a 4.5% increase in Jackson if this all goes forward the way it's proposed right now.
So the 4.5%, if I'm following right, that is what a ratepayer, a person, a user of the water, would probably see on their bill?
In Jackson, what we would need to raise the rates by to keep our revenues and expenditures on par with each other. Right.
Okay. Did they go into why the water would cost Jackson more?
Well, they're completely restructuring the way that they're charging for their monthly service fee and their consumption fee. They're trying to balance those out at 50-50 so that their revenue generation is less variable during hot and cold weather. Because over the past 5 years, it's interesting, they provided some information yesterday, Jackson's water use has dropped almost 20%, which has a pretty big impact on the revenue that comes in,
right,
that for both the city and the water agency. So, but if you have a higher service fee, that's the flat monthly fee, then you don't have so much fluctuation. The other thing that they're doing is they're separating the monthly service fee into their ongoing monthly costs of operation and also a debt service fee that's paying the debt for the amateur transmission pipeline.
How is the nexus, or what is the nexus between, say, the city of Jackson, who buys raw water and has its own customers and bills the own customers? How does that tie into what the water agency is doing with, like you, as the example you said, with Sutter Creek, when Sutter Creek customers are their customers?
Mm-hmm. The rate analysis that was done by their consultant shows that none of the costs for operating the distribution system or the billing, that type of thing, are actually part of the city's rate. So that's identified that it's separate. The one thing that changed in this rate analysis from the 2007 study, which was the last one that was done, is that the City of Jackson's now being billed for a very small portion of the Plymouth pipeline costs, debt service. There are some, the information they provided showed that there's actually a net savings to the City of Jackson that results from Plymouth hooking up because of the economies of scale and reduction in the fixed costs because it can be spread over more customers. But that was kind of the focus of discussion yesterday at the Outreach Committee meeting, was regarding whether or not that is appropriate or not. So that's going to be on our City Council agenda on August 27th, so that the whole council can kind of review all this.
What will the City Council, what are the questions that they might go into, or what is it that the water agency is asking of the City Council?
Well, at this point, it's really just, these are the rates that we're proposing to adopt. Tell us if you have any comments. And so, it's good that we have this opportunity to review these and to provide this information back to them. And then it's up to them to decide whether to move forward or not.
Okay, let's leave that subject for a bit. And I think I don't think you heard the story, but you're aware of some of the Brown Act being suspended. And I guess it sounds like it might only be for the state legislature.
Well,
it's a very confusing story.
Yeah, the part of the Brown Act was tied in with state mandates, and some of the state mandates were suspended as part of the budget process to save the state money this year. The portion of the Brown Act is regarding the posting of the agenda and how much detail you need to have on the agenda. We're going to continue doing what we've always done.
So what is do you know what maybe you can help share some light on it? Was it suspended in order for you not to receive costs for doing that? Does that mean
that's
supposedly, so there's going to be less monies going to you?
Supposedly, yeah. The city was receiving.
So the city is supposed to eat the costs. In other words, to this.
That's correct.
That's a way for the state not.
And there have been other state mandates that have been suspended in the past that the city now has to choose. Well, do we keep providing the service or doing a certain thing a certain way, or do we not do it to save us money?
Okay, now we don't have any time, so we have more questions.
Yeah.
Okay, well, stay with us. There's more news on the other side of the breaks. Thanks, Mike.
All right, Tom.
Okay.
You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN.